Now, here's the hosts of Top Story, Kelly Class and Jill Steen.
Well, good morning and welcome to Top Story. 7360300 is always the number to call. And good morning, Jill.
Good morning, Kelly.
Nice to have you back.
Yeah, for our last two shows.
I
thought maybe I wouldn't show up today, Of course.
Well, tomorrow might be the day you wouldn't show up.
No, of course. Why not? I'm going to play it out with you, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
Thelma and Louise. We'll just go off the cliff together.
You're in it for the long haul, aren't
you? Exactly. Boy, it's cold out this morning.
It's like 8 degrees right now. And
is it really?
I was talking to a friend of mine who was driving a truck back from Salt Lake in the middle of the night. And he, at one point, took a picture of the thermometer in the truck, and it was 18 below zero.
Where was he?
So, I don't know, somewhere between here and Salt Lake.
Nah.
So it was a little chilly.
It's cold out.
But, hey, if it doesn't get cold, then we don't appreciate it when it warms up to like 15 or 20.
I know.
So.
Yeah, it is cold out today, and the wind was terrible last night.
The wind blew last night?
Where we live, the wind always blows.
Oh, that's right. You live out on the tundra.
I'm in the tundra.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't notice any wind last night.
You didn't?
No,
oh,
I
my
didn't,
gosh.
because I was dead to the world. But at any rate. Hey, coming up in a little while, we'll be talking to Steve Millington with the Twin Falls Republicans. We'll find out what the GOP is up to. We also have Beth Swenson.
Twin Falls Public Library.
She'll be in. They got a big event coming up at the library?
Well, they have a change in the bookmobile schedule and a few other things going on, and we like Beth, so I'm like, sure, you can be one of our last guests. Why
Absolutely.
Not?
Yeah, pay the right price.
She's
and,
always fun.
We can
Why
have
not?
You.
Exactly.
Well, very good. Well, we do have some news to talk about this morning, but before we get started in the news, we have someone to introduce.
Is it Santa?
Well, Santa's already come and gone.
Right.
He's back getting a well-deserved rest now because he had a hard time this year because the Homeland Security and such wouldn't let him into the USA with the papers that he had, and his sleigh wasn't up to standards and stuff. So he actually had to rent a U-Haul and carry all the presents. So he's pretty tired. But at any rate, we have the man who will be replacing us.
That's right.
His name is Bill Cawley, and he's going to be the new Top Story host come, I guess Friday.
It's Friday, right?
We do work holidays here, too, so, New
you
Year's
can't
Day.
shake your head. It's radio. Welcome.
That's right.
Insert voice here, right?
I know. I'm like, what are you
go.
doing? It's radio. Welcome to Twin.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Now
pretty drive.
Yeah, you had kind of a long drive.
2,300 miles and some change, according, as I was mentioning to you off air, MapQuest, which you don't necessarily trust, but it's...
Oh, well, now it's on the internet, so if they can't put it on the internet unless it's true, so that's got to be right.
It's probably within a couple of hundred miles.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But it was a beautiful drive. Most of that on Route 80 as you're coming west.
Yeah.
And as you're crossing Iowa and Nebraska. You remember the old episodes of the Flintstones where when Fred and Barney are driving, the scenery is on a loop behind them?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like after a while because it's the same white barn, same white farmhouse. Yeah. And occasionally you'll see some roadside attraction that you'd like to get off the highway and look at, but you're looking at the clock and you're realizing I've got an important date somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it was 3 days of just driving. And when I was a kid and dreamed of being a truck driver like one of my uncles, I'm glad now I didn't pursue that as a career because after a while it gets a little bit, how shall I say, when you have to get out of the vehicle and walk around, now you know what cowboys after
so you
riding
don't get
horses
blood
walk
clots.
that way.
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
And where were you coming from, in case people are wondering? Where was this 2,300-mile trek from?
Well, my last radio station was in southern Delaware. We were actually technically in the Salisbury, Ocean City, Maryland market, which is two small cities on the eastern and lower shore of Maryland, east of the Chesapeake Bay. But our studios, we were licensed to Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, so we were across the state line. And Delaware taxes, actually being a liberal state, were somewhat lower than Maryland, so most of us lived on that side of the state line as well. And but you had to remember 2 governors, 2 different representatives from the House of Representatives. Everything was a duplicate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, nice.
So you were the conservative guy, talk show host there, and what'd they do, run you out of the state from that liberal area?
Are you on the lam?
It's happened to me twice now. Yeah, twice now in radio. But I was talking with an old boss of mine, and about 20 years ago, he landed at KMOX in St. Louis, which is used to be the big voice for the St. Louis Cardinals for eons. But he was asking me why I was coming here, and he had followed what I was doing on radio for a while, and I told him, I said, when Al Jazeera reports about something you say on the air from a little tiny radio station in a cornfield in Delaware, you know you've rattled some cages. And so I think that may have had something to do with the ultimate demise.
So you're hiding out in Idaho. Is that what you're saying? You are hiding out in
None of those Al Jazeera guys, they don't know how to get here.
They don't even know where it is.
We were able to run the interview without incident here.
So did you change your name too, or is that real?
I thought about doing that. It's funny because the last name people have a difficult time spelling. It's not spelled like the dog. That's a Scottish version. Yeah. And in Welsh Gaelic, the way it's spelled would mean black. But my ancestors on the Collie side are actually out of County Clare, Galway, and Roscommon in Ireland. And the name started out as, I don't know how this happens, Mac Kilcooley. And then shortened to Kilcooley. Cooley then becomes either Coley, Collie, and all of these different changes in it. And I debated switching the name because there were times I knew people with, it's a rare last name, but I had a distant cousin who lived in Delaware, and he would walk into a business, and if he'd introduce himself, sometimes he'd get a really negative response. So I had thought maybe it would be wise if I did that, but I've been known by this name since I was born and on radio for 30 years. I might as well keep it.
How do you spell it?
Colley.
Okay. So there you go.
When I first got into radio in 1969, I thought about changing my name. And my dad said, hey, that's your name. Just, use it. Go with it. So I did. And
when I started this show 6 years ago, they never told me it was an option to change my name. And sometimes I wish I would have. Because people go, oh, my gosh, I can't believe you think like this.
That woman
I
who's
know,
on the radio.
But you can't hide your voice. So anyway.
I nearly did change it when my very first job, but my uncle owned 3 stores in the county, and he was a big potential advertiser. He was not advertising at the radio station. They were beating on his door to get him to do it, and they figured if I would go on the air, everyone knew Collie TV in the county, actually in a 3 or 4 county area. So they figured if I was on the radio with that name, it might convince him to advertise, and of course it never did.
Because he thought, why? I have the Collie name on the radio.
Yeah, I'm getting free advertising
exactly.
as it is. I know, that can work
Very
both ways.
Very smart uncle.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to Southern Idaho. Welcome to Idaho. Welcome to the West.
And actually, the weather feels a bit like where I grew up.
Yeah,
because I grew up not far from Buffalo, New York.
Oh, yeah.
And some pretty hilly country just south of there. And I actually, when you talked about the 18 below, I have been to Montreal in Canada when it was about 20 below. And I once covered a news story in the Adirondack Mountains in a place called Racket Lake, and I got up one morning and it was 46 below.
My goodness, I can't even imagine. They say once it gets below 0, though, it doesn't make much difference. But,
yeah.
No,
I always
thought
if I really wanted to try my true grit, I'd go to Alaska and be an ice road trucker, It's like 60 below 0.
Well, it doesn't get that cold out here. People really think it's, when I first moved out here, my dad was sending me turtlenecks and jackets, and they still think they don't even know what I live in. But no, it's actually
think you're living in an igloo, huh?
Because I used to live in Boston. We had way worse winters and much more snow than we do out here.
When I was a kid, seemed like we had more snow than we have now.
Oh, yeah.
7360300 is the number. Top story. You're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kelly and Jill.
Well, Mr. Kyle.
How are you?
I had to call in. Just, I'm going to be in and out of a truck and never know if I'll get a hold of you. It's been nice talking to you guys for the last 4 years.
Thank you.
and I hope you guys have a great retirement. Jill, don't worry. If I still see you out and about, I'll give you a hug.
Well, thanks. I'm too young to retire, so anyone have a job for me, call in. I'm looking for a job now.
And this thing about anything below 0 doesn't make a difference. You've never been to Stanley at minus 32 when you just step outside and all your nose hair is free.
Yeah,
that is
true. I think it does make a difference.
A lot of times, Stanley is the coldest spot in the nation, so we shouldn't overlook that. Thanks for the call, Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah,
One of our loyal listeners.
Yep, indeed.
Wow.
We do have some news to talk about. One of the big stories, of course, is the at least 40 bodies have been found in the area where AirAsia Flight 8501 last made contact with air traffic controllers, along with debris from the plane. So the mystery of that plane now has apparently been solved.
I know.
The bodies were found in the Java Sea, about 6 miles from the plane's last known point. They also can see the plane at the bottom of the. It's not real deep there, so they can see the outline of the plane at the bottom of the ocean. So
you almost wonder what's worse. Like maybe their hope, before they found out, like maybe they're still alive. Maybe they landed on the island, like Malaysia Airlines. They probably still think they're living on an island somewhere. But it was so sad, so tragic.
They saw a fire on one of the islands there, so they were going to investigate that because they say it's a rainy season, so having a fire, and that's
unusual.
Is unusual.
Yeah.
So apparently that turned out to be nothing. But my wife and I were talking about the Malaysian Flight 370 last night, and I'm almost of the conclusion, since they've not found any debris ever, nothing, no trace, I'm wondering if it didn't crash on an island there or something, or they tried landing it and it crash landed, or on an island somewhere. So
I don't know. I mean, they did all
either
the projections.
Either that, or
again,
the aliens have it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, they're going to fill it with a bomb and hit what? Eiffel Tower? Was that the theory?
Well, that was
the theory,
that was
Bill,
ISIS. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them.
All right, well, we'll have to wait. Maybe New Year's Eve. Let's create panic. Maybe tomorrow night.
We have to be realistic about this.
Of course.
We do.
I know.
So I'm thinking.
No one go to
Paris. At this point, for Flight 370, it's anybody's game. Anything could have happened until they prove otherwise. Until they prove actually what happened. I'm wide open. My mind. I'm not a closed-minded individual like you think I am.
Really?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. So keep that in mind.
I learn something new every single day with you, Kelly. But anyway, my heart goes out to all those poor families. Yeah. I can't even imagine. And here you have to start the new year. Oh, gosh, the whole thing.
It's always tragic
life is
when
never
it
the
happens
same.
Around a holiday of some sort, no matter what type of, because you always remember that holiday from then on as being, oh, yeah, this is the time that such and such happened.
Well, do you ever have September 11th ever again without saying, oh,
exactly.
September 11th?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
so,
I know.
One other thing, too, we have a little more here, but I just wanted to mention, do you remember Marcia Strassman?
I don't. Marcia. Who's Marcia Strassman?
That's not her, but she played Gabe Kaplan's wife, Julie, in the 1970 sitcom Welcome Back, Kotter.
I still don't remember her.
Do you remember Welcome Back, Kotter?
Yeah,
That's
briefly.
Where John Travolta got his. Well, anyway, she died at 66 of breast cancer. So
that's sad.
Yeah, it was kind of sad because I kind of liked her. I liked that show. I always enjoyed that. But one more of the big. Well, she wasn't a huge celebrity, but she played the original nurse in MASH in the first season. I didn't know that.
Okay.
We'll be right back on Top Story. 736-0300 is the number to call. 736-0300 is the number to call here this morning on Top Story. Welcome back. Just wanted to mention the Low and Honey Loader.
Yeah.
From Farmore of Idaho. Well, Stanley and Company, actually. They're there in the same building,
Mm-hmm.
But Stanley and Company is the one that has the Low and Honey Loader. And they'd like you to stop by and take a look. Or better yet, you could make an appointment to see one of these in operation at one of the local feedlots or dairies. And Pat Hartzell is the guy that you want to talk to about that. 280-1167 is his personal cell phone number. He has put it out to the world. So you can give him a call and say, hey, Pat, we'd like to see one of those Low and Honey Loaders in operation. So
I know.
Yes, indeed. It's 324-3341. Or Pat Hartzell at 280-1167.
And they'll be happy to answer your call.
They will. We have a caller, so let's go ahead and take the call. Top Story, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, beautiful Jill. How you guys doing?
We're great. How are you?
Pretty good. I just got two things to say. Jill,
yes.
Bigger and better doors will open.
Well,
believe
thank
you.
And
Kelly, to you and Steve, I only got one thing to say. Don't let the door hit you with the good Lord split you.
Oh.
All right?
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Can't I have one fan? Thank you. One fan.
Okay.
Thank you.
You can have him.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. I'll be happy to take him.
You can take him.
There you, oh, you can't handle it. I get talked like that all the time. When someone is like a little tough with you, you have trouble. I would love to see it if we had this station out in Boston. And I'm the liberal voice, and you're the conservative. You couldn't handle it.
That would be so much fun to pick off all of those bleeding heart liberals out there.
You couldn't handle all the comments.
Are you kidding?
You can't handle them here.
That would be the epitome, the ultimate in pleasure.
Really?
Yes, to go out there and
Mr. Big Talk.
bringing the truth to Boston. They wouldn't be able to handle it. Oh my gosh.
You wouldn't be able to handle all the comments I get.
They'd be dying of apoplexy.
Oh, please.
Oh, yes, they would. 7360300. Top story. You're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I am very sad. I think this is Kelly. You should postpone your retirement.
Good luck with that one.
Well, thank you. But how long should I postpone it for?
Oh, no more than 50 years.
Oh, okay, yeah, right, 50 years.
I won't even notice the difference. Yes.
Jill, did you ever read the Stephen King novel, Misery?
I don't read any Stephen King novels. I like to sleep at night.
No, this you're a fan.
I'm what?
You need to read that book. This lovely Jill guy that calls in all the time just. This whole novel is based around this fan of this guy who writes books.
Oh, wait,
she captures him.
I saw the movie, the one with Kathy Bates and James Caan.
Oh, yeah.
She breaks his legs.
He's your number one fan, Jill. You better watch out.
Why can't I have a fan and he doesn't have to be demented or break my legs? What is wrong with you? Come on.
Hey, thanks for the call. Thank you for the kind words.
I think. I'm not sure. Thanks for the call, though.
Oh, my. 7360300 is the number to call. So I know here the last couple of days we're just kind of, having fun. We've got some stories we want to talk about that have kind of been some of the big stories that we have talked about here on the show over the past, 5 or 6 years since
It'll be
here?
6 years in February.
Oh, my gosh.
February 16th, and that's how I remember because it was my sister's birthday.
Is that all? It seems like it's been 106 years.
Oh, stop. Some people are like, 6 years? Oh, my gosh.
I didn't think it'd last 6 months. I didn't think
I know, everyone who lost their bets out there.
I know.
Sorry.
You got a lot of mad people out there because they lost. 7360300. Top story. You're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
Jill, you're my fan.
Wait, you're my fan? Wait, you're my fan. Okay.
I like you.
Thank you.
After I met you.
Thank you. After we broke bread.
You like the sister that I like to fight with.
Uh-oh. I never had brothers, so no.
You fight tooth and nail.
We're a little rough and tough. We don't pull hair and scratch. We do other things.
Well, I appreciate that, Kyle. We always appreciate you calling in, that's for sure. And it was nice having lunch with you. It was nice having lunch with all of our winners.
And the bread, the cake and the cookies were to die for. So
yes.
Once again, thanks for
Kyle. Amazing.
7360300. Top story. You're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning. I just want to say thank you. I'm new to the area. I found this program, and I have enjoyed it for the last 2 years.
Thank you.
Being able to find out what's going on in the community and listening to your opinions it's been delightful.
Thank you.
I wish you both the best in your new ventures.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate that.
We appreciate that. All right. Have a good day.
You too.
Oh,
Bye.
nice.
Now, our replacement, Bill Cawley, just stepped out of the room to go fill his coffee cup. So he'll be back here shortly. And we have Steve Millington coming up here. Well, as a matter of fact, we're already at the break.
Where did the break
go? We didn't even get to finish the news.
We didn't get to talk anything.
The explosions that are happening in Bingham County, apparently. It made national news this morning. I got it off the Drudge Report.
Wow, then it must be true.
It must be. It is.
Are you sure?
A lot more so than the Huffington Report.
It is the Drudge Report.
We'll be right back with Steve Millington here on Top Story. 7360300, the number to call here this morning on Top Story. And guess what? This is for Jill's one fan.
The Democrats' secular progressive move, political correctness is killing us too. They want to take the money from the hard-working man and give it to the lazy folks that don't give a damn. Democrats and liberals, shame on you. Don't punish us all, just to please a few. You're holding people back while we're picking up the slack, and that's why we can't vote for a Democrat. Oh no, oh no.
All right.
Okay, I can take it. It doesn't matter. One more day of that doesn't matter. And I have more than one fan.
You have thick skin. I know, Jill. You
I've
have many fans.
To last 6 years here doing this
absolutely.
job. Come on.
I admire you.
Everyone lost their bets after 6 months, then a year, then 2 years. You know what? We should play my favorite song at the end, I Survived. Remember Gloria Gaynor?
Yeah.
We play that every year on my anniversary.
I don't think we have that anymore.
Oh, somehow that mysteriously disappeared. Fine. Well, good morning, Steve.
Yeah.
Well, good morning.
Nice to have you here.
Yes, it's both good morning and a nostalgic morning. This is a bittersweet day.
It is.
Really.
It's bittersweet,
I agree.
Steve.
Yeah.
You were
Tomorrow
talking
will
earlier.
be the much more bittersweet, being the last.
You were
one.
talking about Jill coming on 6 years, like in February.
Yeah.
I think I came on just a couple of months after you came on, like
Was
in
it?
April or May of that same year. So
Yeah.
I'm pushing on my 5.5, going on 6 as well.
You know what the weird part is it doesn't seem like it was that long
You know,
ago.
I went back over a bunch of notes and stuff that I had, and I thought to myself, wow, this was a long time ago.
Yeah.
No, this was just yesterday.
Yeah.
and I look at them and I think to myself, where did all the time go?
Well, the older
I
you get, the
don't
faster
know.
time goes, and
You have no idea yet.
I
Kelly.
know that is a law of physics.
Yeah.
You know, it really is true because when you're in grade school, I mean, it's eternity for one school year, and then you get into high school and it goes a little faster, and then when you become an adult, get a job, and all, unless you're a Democrat or something, but you get a job and you start working, and then all of a sudden
What's the slams? My God!
Well, things are over.
Democrats don't get jobs, and so time just seems to
Really?
float.
I think we have one who has the highest job in the land, don't we? Yeah, and he was reelected. Wow. Anyway.
Oh, she likes to
Two
rub
mistakes
that
in a row. 7360300. Before we get to Steve, we do have a caller. Somebody's been trying to get in. You're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How are you today?
Hey.
Good. It's the first time listening to KLIX. I'm calling from Lewis, Delaware, which was Bill Colley's hometown.
Oh, very
Bill,
cool.
You gotta put on your headphones.
Yeah, put on your headphones there, Bill. You
got someone calling in.
Fan. They're
I have to say, well, first off, congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you, sir.
And I have to say to the great folks of Twin Falls, we're going to miss Bill Colley here, but I'm going to be listening every day online.
Cool.
And he's both entertaining, intelligent, does everything with a sense of humor. You're in for a great ride.
Hey, Doctor, can I add something to this?
Yes, sir.
The fellow who's calling us, he doesn't like me telling people this, but you've heard of the Dan Patrick radio show, which is the top sports show in the country.
Yeah.
This is the fellow who created it.
Oh, wow.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I helped create it. To Bill's credit, I think he's right on point, and I don't think there'll be anybody can replace you after reading your biography. But I think he'll just take the ball and run with it, and I think Twin Falls is in for a great ride.
That's great.
Cool.
Hey, maybe you can take my resume.
I'm
looking for a job now.
Looking forward
Thank
to it.
you.
Have a great day.
Okay,
Thank you for the
bye.
call.
I have to
Appreciate
move
that.
to get the guy to call my show,
Yeah.
which he never did in the previous 7 years.
Yeah, seriously, huh?
I
much
know,
did
I
you
hear
pay him, Bill?
I have to quit to get people to call, so
Yeah, seriously.
Very interesting. Well, anyway, hey, we're almost up against another break here, but Steve, as far as the Idaho legislature is concerned, are they going to, I know this add the words thing keeps coming back and coming back. Do you think the GOP is going to give them a hearing this year and move along with that? You think it's going to be kind of like the gay marriage thing? You can only fight it for so long, but
I think the fight will continue. Whether or not they will get a hearing is still up for grabs. There doesn't seem to be an awful lot of interest in going there, and they all respond with the rebuttal. Our laws already include non-discrimination clauses applicable to everybody.
Actually, they don't.
And so the add the words is not only redundant, it's just not useful, not meaningful.
Then why just add them? Because in Idaho you can still.
Here we go
in Idaho you can
again.
still lose
Here
your
we
job.
go
No,
again.
well, in Idaho you can still lose your job for your sexual identity, for being gay in this state. And when you ask people and you say that to people, they're shocked. So why not just add the word sexual orientation or gender identity to the Idaho Human Rights Amendment? Why not? Why not add that? If you say it's redundant, then just add it. What's the point? But you can still lose your job in this state and not have housing because you're gay. And to me, that is backwards. We're going in the wrong direction, and you know what? We have to.
Idaho is a right-to-work state, so if they want to fire you,
they can fire you.
They can fire you, and they don't
You
have to
can't
give a reason.
discriminate if you're a woman or if you're in a protected class, but you can if you're gay.
No,
see, that's what they want to do.
If they want to get rid of you, they will get rid of you.
She said the key word.
We are
she said the key word.
We are
if
backwards.
you are in a quote protected status, and what they really want to do is make themselves protected status.
We'll be
Why
right back.
shouldn't they?
He's from Massachusetts.
7360300 is the number to call here this morning on Top Story. Welcome back.
Just keep talking, Steve. No worries. No worries.
Hey, it's cold this morning. Now, I don't know. Steve said it was like 0.
Yeah, my outside temperature said 0 when I went out
cow.
about 6:30 this morning.
Well, our temperature here at the station is 9. So it's somewhere
Heat wave.
between 0 and 9. Yeah. Depends on where you stand, I guess. But at any rate, it's cold, and I know a lot of folks out here have wood-burning stoves. And in order to feed those wood-burning stoves, you got to have a good chainsaw.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, I know. And if you didn't get the chainsaw that you were hoping Santa would bring you for Christmas, but maybe you got some Christmas money, then take it to Clearwater Power Equipment, because they've got the Echo and the Husqvarna chainsaws and all kinds of that power equipment. Drove by the other day, and they had a couple of lawnmowers out there, as a matter of fact, but they had a hydraulic log splitter. They had a little snow blower and all that kind of stuff. So you need that kind of equipment. They've got the sales. They got the service. They sell Husqvarna and they sell Echo, and those chainsaws are second to none. They also do service, and they got parts, and they got knowledge. You go to a big box store, and they might sell some of that stuff. But, you ask them a question about it, and they look at you like, oh, my gosh, I wish you hadn't asked me that question. You won't get that look at Clearwater Power Equipment, because they're trained in that stuff. So give them a call at 734-7767. They're in the old General Building Supply location at 252 Washington Street. And you can tell them that Kelly and Jill.
That's right.
And the Bill and
Steve and anyone else.
That's right.
Why not?
Yeah, that's right. They'd be happy to have you stop by. Okay, so we got a caller. Let's go ahead and take the caller. Top Story, you're on the air.
Okay, Jill, my sister from another mother.
Why are you tormenting me today?
You just hit it on the neck. You can't legislate this stuff. You keep saying that. How would you like it if we flip it? And I tell you that we're going to make a law that you have to be proficient with a firearm and have to own one. Would you like that?
It's not even the same thing.
Kyle, it's not the same thing. You cannot tell someone that they have to do something. If someone's a jerk, they're a jerk. Don't go to their place. If the guy doesn't want to sell somebody that's gay a cake, go somewhere else.
This isn't what it's about.
That's how it works.
You know what? Then why do we have protected classes at all? Why,
That's a good question. Why do we?
That's because this is what happens.
Why do we have it, Jill? Because
it happens.
Like you.
Because it happens.
That's why we have them. That's why we have so many laws that right now, every day, you break 20 federal laws just walking around. If they want to enforce everything, we wouldn't be able to get out of our house. That's what you want.
That is not what I want, but I don't think people should have to lose their job because someone finds out that they're gay, or they're denied housing because they're gay. They don't when you're black. They don't when you're a Mormon, or if it was your religious thing, you're a protected class. If you're over 40, you're a protected class. You know what? Why not? Why shouldn't Idaho just add the 4 words, gender identity, sexual orientation, and maybe be with it with the rest of the states in this country? But you know what? When you say that to someone in Idaho, that someone can lose their job because they're gay, everyone's shocked. But you know what? It happens. It has happened. And I think it's about time we at least give it a hearing. My gosh.
So what do you think, Steve?
Protected class.
Yeah.
The key here is protected class. Everybody wants to have some protected class arrangement where you owe this to me because I am a protected class.
No, it's like you shouldn't fire because of that.
Detriment to individual liberties and individual freedoms is that everybody has to have their own protected class.
Okay, that's great. Well, why don't we just reverse all the discrimination laws, Steve? Because that doesn't happen because people always do the right thing in this country.
Let's go to the caller. Top story, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. We do have a protective class in Idaho. It is called the supposedly job creators. They get all the tax breaks and they get all the incentives to come here, don't pay taxes for 20 years, use up all the water, contaminate everything. But yet they are a protected society. But yet the little people, the poor, are not. So let's get that straight. We do have a protective. So Steve, quit backing the rich up. Thank you.
If that was the way you interpreted it, I'm sorry that you heard it that way. I just am opposed to the idea of protected classes. And I don't care how you define it. We are a society where we have created this huge network of protected classes. And boy, if you think go take a long look at the tax code from top to bottom. We have so many protected classes in that thing that it just scare you to death.
If you're a homeowner paying a mortgage, you are a protected class.
That's right, because you get to deduct your interest expense. Oh, and your property taxes. Oh, and if you have an office in your home, you can take a prorated share of the home cost and deduct it as a business. So everybody has a protected class. And the more of these protected classes that we create, the less individual liberty and freedom all of us have.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because we should be able to fire you because you're gay.
And the more protected classes you have to have in order to protect yourself from all these protected classes.
The worse it gets.
Yes, that's right. It's kind of a vicious circle.
I think it's called the downward spiraling staircase.
Oh, is that right? Well, you know what we have to do? We have to elect people in our state legislature who will add the words. So there you go. We didn't in this time, but hopefully we will.
That's probably not going to happen this year.
I would be surprised.
Okay.
That's not one of the items that when you talk to legislators and you say, okay, what's coming down? They're going to talk about education, and there's many facets to that thing. There's the tiered licensure and the teacher ladder salary structure and raising the entry-level teacher thing. That's one thing where I will let you slap me alongside the face. Why in the world do we pay $31,750 for beginning level teachers? Oh, come on. And some of those things have got to be fixed. So we talk about a lot of those things, and most of that's going to be driven by where's the revenue coming from.
Yeah.
And transportation, let's get some money in and fix the roads. Coming in this morning, ice patches here and there and around, and I thought to myself, oh, come on.
I've heard some of them are pretty bad.
They are bad.
There are two or three. I come in on 3700. We call it the Castleford Freeway.
Yeah.
and in places where the trees shade the roadways, and there's been no sun to melt. Boy, they zero. Well, it was I think 4 degrees when I left the house this morning. So it's.
Yeah.
But they were. I looked at them and I thought, ooh, I can just see the glaze on the ground, and I backed off and
those are the deadly ones because you're going on dry pavement. You don't realize that there's a slick spot down the road. Then when you hit it, it's too
boom,
late.
And it doesn't last for very long. And all of a sudden you're back on dry ground, and the wheels grab in every direction, and you're rolling end over tea kettle out through somebody's field.
Yeah. 736-0300. Top story. You're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. Good morning. Yes. Why can I not go out there and marry 5 women or 5 sheep?
Why you always bring that up?
That's an interesting
that's
point.
an interesting. I think they do marry a few women in Utah.
If all of a sudden anybody can marry anybody can marry anybody, why can't we have bigamy or polygamy?
I think they do in Utah, but the thing of it is
why should that's against the law.
Why should we be? Why not?
They are not a protected class.
Why should you be fired in Idaho for being gay? Why denied housing? I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. We're like one of 8 states who hasn't added them to a protected class.
I'm glad we have good company. At least there's 8 of us. Maybe we can get this thing going the right
direction. Until it's your grandson, then they get fired, and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, okay.
We're getting nowhere fast here, so let's kind of switch gears.
We just got onto a slick spot on the road, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Okay, so there's a lot of talk about Jeb Bush being running for president. What do you think?
No.
Okay.
You don't think he's running?
I think you mentioned last time we don't need another Bush.
Yeah, 2 Bushes is enough.
Yeah, but Steve, do you think he's running?
I think and part of the problem with that is the way that we create the revenue stream for that little event.
Right.
And so as soon as I put my name back on the page and I'm running for president and I create this campaign committee, they pour millions and millions of dollars into my campaign committee. I'm not supposed to spend that money. See, that's protected class. I can't spend that money on me personally, but I can contribute to very many other things that are of a, quote, political nature or a non-profit nature, and that makes me look great and wonderful and forever and ever.
I read something.
So you take somebody like a Jeb Bush, and he throws his hat in the ring to be president. He's going to raise tens of millions of dollars. Whether he runs or is successful or not, who knows? But name recognition and availability for speaking engagements. Holy Moses!
Well, he can he can use that money to help somebody else.
Yeah, if you're not campaigning, you can use your funds for other campaign.
You think that's what he's going to do? An altruistic? I mean, he's giving up some of his business relationships. I think he had, wasn't it with Barclays? He was being paid $1 million a month or something. Like he's divesting himself of things. You think he's just doing this to help the other Republican candidates? No way.
I think there's better choices.
Well, who do you think would be a better choice?
Can I keep working on that list? None of them have committed until sometime in 2015, and neither do I.
All right. So if you could choose today who you would like to be our next president?
Me. I could get that cockeyed thing fixed in about 20 minutes.
Well, you won't get my vote. Anyway.
Well, I wouldn't have got your vote regardless. So
that's true.
I read somewhere the other day that the next campaign, it'll cost $1 billion.
It's ridiculous. Well, now that they changed the laws, now you can add more money. You can add more money to campaigns because it wasn't enough in the past.
You know, if I had $1 billion, I wouldn't be running for anything.
That's me.
I would be gone. I'd have my little compound up in the mountains somewhere.
You give me $1 billion, and the last thing in the world I would want would be to be stuck in the public spotlight.
Yeah. Just ego.
Or any kind of a job.
I know.
Top story, you're on the air. Good morning.
I heard he's running, and I hope not, because he's already it's already been leaked that he's been sitting down with John McCain figuring out how he can run and win without the conservative base. And I don't think that can happen, and he'll rob stuff from everybody else. I think the guy is more T than R. It's not a good thing.
Why would he sit down with John McCain? Because John McCain doesn't know how to win without a conservative base. He actually lost, right?
You know, what bothers me, actually, is that right now there's not a front runner. Usually you can tell over the years, 2 or 3, 4 years down the road, well, so-and-so is going to be president eventually.
Yeah.
But
we don't have
don't have that right now.
Not yet.
The Democrats
Hillary.
do, God forbid. But the Republicans don't, and that's worrisome to me.
And do you really think with Chris Christie, they think he's second. He might be indicted, for what's happening, not only with the Bridgegate, but with his pensions, with the Port Authority stuff. So, and he's like the second in the polls, really. So after that, who else? You got Ben Carson, Rand Paul.
Nope.
Who else?
Rubio.
Marco Rubio.
Nope. And Ted Cruz is not on the page anymore. He kind of shot himself in the foot trying to be the big
Speaker of the House. We don't have much time yet.
John Boehner.
John Boehner might. He's kind of running for his life now. It looks like
he might. It'll be interesting to see. I'm pretty sure that he will retain his seat as Speaker, but it's not going to be as solid and secure as perhaps he would like it to be. There is a definite minority interest present there that's going to give him some
But
grief.
who would be who would you think would be speaker if it wasn't Boehner?
You know,
because I'm surprised he's lasted this long, frankly, with some of the things he's done.
I really don't know. I haven't looked at the.
What's the guy's name that's been interviewing, been in these IRS hearings? He's a former prosecutor. He's really a bulldog, and I
can't think of his name either.
Not Issa, no.
No, not Issa. Not Daryl Issa. He's from the Carolinas or someplace.
Yeah.
Trey Gowdy.
Trey Gowdy. That's right. Trey Gowdy.
Gowdy.
That's it.
That's the name.
I don't think he would be speaker,
he could be
though.
tough.
Do you?
He could be tough.
I think he'd be a good one. Hey, Steve, thank you. We're out of time.
Thank
Appreciate
you, Kelly.
Steve,
it's
been fun.
More fun. Tuesdays did not come often enough, and sometimes they came too often. But man, it has been a kick.
Yeah, I hear you, brother.
We'll do lunch.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Steve. It's been fun.
You. Thanks,
and next
Jill.
hour, we're going to go over some of the stories that have been big during the last 6 years while Jill and I have been
Bill
here.
might be shocked at some of these.
He might be. And we'll be right back after the news at the top of the hour on News Radio 1310 KLIX. And welcome back to Top Story, 736-0300. Always the number to call. And we're back, and it's like 10 right now.
I thought you meant 10 o'clock? No, it's not.
No.
10 degrees?
Yeah, it's 10 degrees.
So it's getting warmer.
But I don't know how accurate that is because Steve said that his pickup said it was like
at 6:30 a.m.
Oh, is that when that was?
Yeah, he said 6:30.
Okay, because mine coming in at 5 was 7. So.
No, he lives out in Buell.
That's right. Well, Buell's downriver, so it should be warmer down there.
And
Look,
yet it's not.
It's closer to Hagerman.
And yet it's not. And that's why we live in Idaho. Up is down, down is up, right is left, left is right.
And
Who
I
knows?
love it that way.
Yes, it's Idaho.
It always keeps you guessing.
Which is a good segue to our next segment. All the crazy stories.
Over the last almost 6 years since you've been here.
February 16th, 2009.
We've talked about a lot of odd stories.
Odd.
And they've been fun to talk about. Some of them have been quite serious, and there are some local stories that ended up being quite serious, and in fact, still are.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've not yet been resolved.
That's true.
But we thought it would be kind of fun to just revisit some of these funny, odd stories from over the past 6 years.
So, Bill, you might be shocked. You might be stunned.
Welcome
to
Idaho. You might decide you want to go back to Delaware.
Some of these stories, buddy, I'm telling you.
For those who have just joined us, Bill Cawley is with us, and Bill will be the new host of Top Story on January 2nd.
Friday.
Because Jill and I will no longer be here, and so you just arrived. Well, give us your story again, because we have a whole new audience than we had an hour ago.
Yeah, the late sleepers, I guess, at this point. I've been in radio not quite as long as you have, but nearly 30 years. And I think I was telling you off air, I started in a small town. It was the biggest town in my home county, 5,000 people, and I started as a music jock. Ended up getting a full-time news job at an AM station, 500 watts, at $165 a week. And did that for a stretch, and then just went down the road about another 40 miles, and then did news for 17 years, and then fell off the boat and ended up in talk radio about 10 years ago, and found I really enjoyed it. This is the best job anybody, I think, could ever have. I don't know why anyone would want to be doing anything else with their lives.
You don't know why anybody would want to quit it, right?
Yeah.
Well, Bill, I didn't really have a choice, buddy, so thanks.
Well, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I've been around in broadcasting long enough to also not have a choice many, many times.
Yes.
I know what, can you come see me in the office? I know exactly what that means.
We had a manager here. You say, got a minute? Whenever he said that,
everyone
you knew
would
there
run.
was a problem.
Everyone would run.
I was walking down the hall behind my old general manager at the last station, and there was a piece of lint on the back of his silk suit, and I wanted to say, hey, but I thought, nah, he's only going to get angrier if I do that. But I started out in radio in western New York State in a small town, and then spent 15 years, not consecutively, in Syracuse, New York, which there's an old line, dying in Syracuse is redundant or something like that.
My niece went to school there at Syracuse.
Of
it's quite
course
cold.
she did.
She did.
Now, Jill has relatives
everywhere.
And
my cousin
Iggy
lived
everywhere. She has been everywhere. And she really has.
Cousin Iggy went to University of Delaware, and that's where he came from.
Right. Delaware's a lot warmer than Syracuse was.
Yeah, Syracuse
will at
is
least
bad.
say that. Syracuse is the snowiest major metropolitan area in the United States.
Oh, wow.
And the last winter I lived there, we had snow, measurable snow, 44 consecutive days at one point.
Wow.
And when I left, I was so thought I had just hit the jackpot, and was out of there. But I've worked in Burlington, Vermont, Binghamton, New York, and the last 7 years in Delaware. And I actually spent the fall working on 2 county legislative races, county council where I was living at the time, also 2 state legislative races, and I spent most of the month of October working on a U.S. Senate race in Michigan, which was a disaster, but that was not of my making. It was the candidate. She blew a 9-point lead in spring and ended up losing by double digits. But I had an opportunity. I got a telephone call a couple of weeks ago, or an email a couple of weeks ago, and this sounded like a great fit. And I thought I tuned in and listened to the two of you. And I do want to know, when you were shopping at that deli and ran into the rabbi that day, and he recognized your voice, you were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. Was it a kosher deli?
Is there a deli here? No, we don't have a deli here.
You were shopping somewhere, and a rabbi recognized your voice while you were shopping. I remember you talking about that. Were you buying kosher food?
A rabbi? No, we live in Idaho. There is no kosher food. There is no deli. But someone recognized my voice. I don't know. I can't remember now.
See, I thought you said it was a rabbi.
No, we don't even have a rabbi out here.
You know what? When I lived in Vermont, there were fewer than 1,000 Jewish people in the entire state.
There's like 6 or 7 in this town. I'm part of the Jew crew. Actually, I'm Jewish, yes. So.
My best friend at the station I worked at in Vermont was Jewish, and he ended up telling me that there were about 800 Jewish people in Vermont at the time. But they only had a population of about 500,000, so that's not really a big shock by any means.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't realize Delaware was that small population-wise, because
it's a small state.
You have this idea that anything back east, they have millions and millions of people. Everywhere.
Structure, though, and of course, all the counties 3 counties are stacked north to south. Rhode Island, I think, has 2 counties. But the northernmost county is the geographically smallest part of Delaware, but it's a Philadelphia suburb. That's a tiny county, and they've stacked about 600,000 people into that county. The county I lived in geographically was huge, but it only had about 212,000 people.
Yeah.
And 50 years ago only had 60,000. But then people discovered beachfront property, and all the wealth from Washington and Baltimore showed up. But you can drive that state in east-west in a matter of a few minutes. Going north-south, it might be a couple hours.
Yeah, it's pretty small, but it's nice.
But if you wanted to see a ball game, you're only 2 hours from 3 major metropolitan areas.
I know, right?
Yeah,
that's great.
Well, that is cool. Well, anyway, welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah.
And this might give you a taste of some of the stories we've had to cover here. It's opened my eyes for sure.
I was going to ask you, so you're kind of from upstate New York. Upstate New York, I guess they call it, huh?
The 8 western counties of upstate New York are considered actually Midwest, and that's where I was born and raised.
Okay. And that's a big dairy area.
Absolutely.
That's a big dairy area.
Yeah. Sometimes the only traffic you'd see through downtown when I was a kid was milk trucks going back and forth.
Wow. So how far were you? I have to ask this question. How far were you from Orange County choppers?
Orange County would be about a 5 to 6 hour drive.
Oh, so quite a ways then. So you never met the Tuttles?
No.
Okay. All right. Are you aware of what I'm talking about?
Hey, we're going to run out of time for our stories.
Oh,
come on,
just
you
leave
guys
me
can
alone.
chat at the break.
Leave me alone.
Come on, we got to tell Bill about
my
some of these
gosh.
great stories.
If there's one thing I'm not going to miss.
You.
Sheesh. Okay, one of the most unique stories that we talked about some time ago was the KKK snowman in Hayden.
Hayden, Idaho, northern Idaho.
A white separatist had complaints from neighbors and a visit from law enforcement officers after building a snowman shaped like a member of the Ku Klux Klan on his front lawn.
I know.
Now, first of all, I'm kind of curious, how is a member of the Ku Klux Klan shaped? Is it different from regular?
Well, they have the hood. It's the hood with the eyes. A hood.
Okay, I got
Plus, it had the noose around its arm. Remember? And the man was so perplexed.
Kootenai County Sheriff's deputies told Mark Eliason Wednesday that this was a long time ago, that he could be charged with a crime because the 10-foot-tall snowman was holding what appeared to be a noose.
That's right.
Deputies were called by neighbors who were appalled by the pointy-headed snowman with 2 dark eyes.
That's how you know.
Hayden, for decades, earned notoriety. Well, everybody knows northern Idaho, and even still today think that northern Idaho is the haven for white separatists.
Yes.
But they moved out a long, long time ago.
I think there's a few still there.
It's illegal to build snowmen.
Apparently so.
Like a KKK.
Yeah.
And the guy was so kind
it's
because
that protected class thing.
He said at Halloween he passed out bullet casings after he ran out of candy. He doesn't understand why his neighbors aren't happy with him. Anyway, welcome to Hayden, Idaho, Bill.
Anybody ever get hurt
there
from
you
bullet
go.
casings?
I don't know. If you eat them, you never know. You might choke on them.
Oh yeah.
Next one I found.
I thought that was kind of one of that was. You're right, Jill. That was one of our.
That was one of our. You have to admit. I mean, you build snowmen a different way. I've never heard of the KKK one, but people warned me when I came out here. This one I thought was always a good one. Breast exams in bars in Boise. That's right. You heard it. Salmon, Idaho. An Idaho judge set a bond on $100,000 for a Boise woman, police say, who posed as a physician and duped at least 2 other women into having their breasts examined by her at Boise area nightclubs. So she was charged with 2 felony counts of practicing medicine without a license. Can you believe this? She said she was a plastic surgeon and that she would take a look at their breasts to see if they were good candidates for surgery.
It suggests, though, that maybe she was discriminated against because she likes other women, so therefore...
Nope, it had to just do with practicing without a license, Bill. Sorry, but that's
medicine without a license.
That's happening. So anyway, that happened. That one was a real good one that we had a good laugh over.
Yeah, we got to talk about that for quite some time.
Yeah, apparently she had some medical knowledge. She probably watched a lot of Grey's Anatomy or something.
Well, she was a lot cheaper. I don't know how much a breast exam costs, but I'm sure it's a few bucks, and she was doing them was she doing them for free? I can't remember.
Yeah, she was giving me a free consultation.
See there?
Good thing she didn't charge. She might have gotten in more trouble. What do you think? Okay, so that was a good one. Breast exams in bars in Boise. I don't know if you've heard about that one in Delaware. Who knows? But
no, there were probably something like that going on in some of the beachfront nightclubs, but
yeah, it wasn't for breast exams.
Fairly common.
Yeah,
well, and I'm probably fairly sure that Idaho is not the only place where someone has ever built a Ku Klux Klan snowman.
The thing of it is
just
that's
that
what we're known for.
Idaho gets the notoriety for that for some reason.
Everyone warned me. I mean, I'm Jewish, a Democrat, a vegetarian. They're like, there's white supremacists in northern Idaho. I have black friends who won't visit me. They go, there's white supremacists. And I always say, no, that's just northern Idaho. We're known for that.
It's not even northern Idaho anymore, though. They moved out. So, so now it is an
I think they're still there.
It is an unearned notoriety.
You're telling me there's no white supremacists in northern Idaho?
No, I'm not saying that, but there are white supremacists everywhere.
Someone's building a snowman.
What?
The guy was building a snowman, a KKK snowman.
Right,
so
but
clearly.
I'm sure that has happened other places other than Idaho.
It's just a snowman.
It's just a snowman.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Bill, come on. Anyway.
It's a snowman. It didn't hang anybody. It can't.
It had a noose. Anyway, It was offending the neighbors.
Well,
so
there you go.
There you go.
We don't want to offend anybody.
Maybe they're sensitive in northern Idaho. Okay.
One of the other interesting stories was actually quite recent on the Evel Knievel jump and how that was handled.
Diabolical that was. Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Ed Beckley comes to town. Ed Beckley comes to town. He wants to jump the Snake River Canyon. He ponies up $1 million a year for a couple of years.
Almost $1 million
for the rights. And then
through the state, he wins the auction.
And
the city of Twin said they'd work with anyone who wins the auction. Guess what?
And then they didn't.
Then they voted against having the jump. It all makes sense to me. It doesn't.
It was, I would imagine if the city council had to do it again, they would handle it differently.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Anyway, one of the wackier decisions by our city council.
But we are still going to have a jump, and it'll be coming up this spring with Scott Truax and Eddie Braun. Eddie Braun's going to be the one in the rocket, and Scott Truax is the son of the guy who actually designed the original one. We'll be right back. 736-0300, the number to call here on Top Story. Welcome back. The word of the day brought to you by the Happy Landing Restaurant at the Twin Falls Airport. Now,
Kelly's favorite restaurant of all time.
Every time I go out there and I eat something, I think, man, this is the area's best kept secret because their food is homemade. They even make their own potato salad.
Oh my
They don't get
goodness.
these big plastic containers of pre-made potato salad. You don't know what's in it. You know, I mean, they do it right there, and they make the best homemade pie that you could ever imagine. So if you go to the Happy Landing restaurant at the Twin Falls Airport, you're a first-time visitor, you tell them that Kelly and Jill sent you, and you purchase a drink or a meal, they'll give you a free piece of homemade pie.
That's right, Bill. You can go out there because, you
you can
cash
in on that, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelly likes the coconut cream.
I enjoy pie of all kinds, as you can notice.
So they bring you the word of the day today, and yesterday's $100 instant winning name is this is Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Dawn Eastis.
Dawn Eastis, congratulations.
That might be Estes. I don't know.
How do you spell it?
Eastis. I would say Eastis. Anyway, Dawn Eastis, and the $100 word of the day for today is resolutions.
Resolutions.
Oh my gosh, that's got
New
four
Year
syllables
resolutions.
Four syllables. I would never get that.
You have to spell it.
Yeah, you got to spell it. Go to our website, newsradio1310.com. Click on word of the day. Type in resolutions.
RESOLUTIONS.
There you go. And
They
then
like
listen
us to
tomorrow.
spell it.
If you hear your name tomorrow and you played the word today, you win $100.
That's how easy that is.
Yeah.
All right.
That's getting up there about a full tank of gas now. It used to be it was like a half tank or a quarter tank.
No, actually, yeah,
I know.
gas has been great.
Yeah. So
Okay, great. Onward with our little educational piece for Bill as to the crazy stories we've had to encounter.
well, probably one of the most widely known, and I'm sure probably Bill, you probably heard about this one was, I got a message.
What?
Stand by. Got to check my messages.
We're only doing
This
live
could be
radio.
some breaking news.
Could it? What? You're leaving?
They're still looking for the police dog
No. Oh, no, no,
that
no.
got loose day before yesterday.
I hope it's
However,
okay.
the dog is still alive, but he is still loose, and they got within 30 yards of him.
And he took off.
So they apparently...
Why don't they throw
kinda know
some
where he's
red
at.
meat out to him? He must be starving by now. It's been 2 days.
Well, the thing of it is, with a trained dog like
I
that,
know.
they are probably trained not to accept food from strangers.
Yeah, but get another canine guy and talk to him.
Yeah, well, I don't know how
They
that works.
speak another language,
I
you
don't
know.
know how that works.
I won't say what language, but I know they speak
I don't
another
know.
language.
I'm thinking, maybe a tranquilizer dart or something to...
I don't know.
So that they
Poor
can
thing.
get him
Okay,
I
so
know,
he's
it
still
is
alive.
Yeah.
It's probably
So they're still
freezing
looking for
to
it. Down
death.
in the Meander Point area, I guess. So if you're out and about and you see what looks like a skinny German Shepherd that won't come to you, it's probably the dog they're looking for. You can call 911. They want to get the dog back.
Please.
It's a trained police drug dog. So
Yeah.
Okay, so Larry, we call him Wide Stance Craig. He was our U.S. Senator.
And he's the Idaho Republican Party's finance director. So there you go.
Well, and this goes back, what is it?
2007.
June 11, 2007.
Yeah.
When he was arrested for soliciting in the bathroom at the Minnesota airport.
Yeah. Minneapolis airport.
Yeah.
And he's hoping to,
Last I heard, Minneapolis was in Minnesota.
Yeah, but you never know which airport. I think that bathroom was known for picking up.
I asked somebody the other day, and I can't remember who that was. They travel. Oh, it was my nephew.
And
he travels through that area quite a bit. I asked him if he had ever gone to visit the infamous bathroom at the Minneapolis airport, and he said he hadn't, but it kind of reminded him, so he's going to do that next time.
Yeah. And Larry Craig, just so you don't forget about this, continues to fight the campaign funds and the fine that he needs to pay because he violated Federal Election Commission laws that he wanted to use campaign funds to pay his legal fees because he was in the line of business.
And they said no, and he's still fighting that after all these years.
I know. Let it go, Larry.
So-
Get a PR person, pay the fine, and not talk about it again. But no, he's on another appeal. $80,000 in attorney's fees.
So that was another one of the unique stories that we visited.
And
we actually got a lot of mileage out of that one.
You can't actually use the term wide stance ever again and not think of Larry Craig.
Yeah, and without a snicker.
And
Yeah.
if Larry Craig's at a party and he says, "Can I use the bathroom?" Could the man ever actually ask that ever again without people laughing? I don't know. So anyway, that was Larry Craig.
Yeah.
Interesting.
One of the other ones that was kind of unique to us because he had such a a picture of cleanliness was the DUI of Senator Mike Crapo.
Boy, that one, you know what? He was pretty lucky. He spoke about it once, I'm sorry, and that is it. People let him pretty much off the hook. I mean, being a former bishop of the LDS Church, kind of mocking people who drank, and now he has a DUI.
But on the other hand,
you hadn't really heard about that
in
much.
relation to the crimes that senators and representatives are guilty of nowadays, I mean, a DUI is kind of like a walk in the park.
But you know what? For someone like this,
just a DUI off.
No, that just shows you how when you're a Republican and you've been in office for so long, they give you a pass.
Well,
he
it's
really got
not
a pass
just the
on this.
Republicans. It happens to the Democrats too.
I'm saying he got a pass. You're in a Republican state. He got a pass. He only had to talk about it once. We asked him about it on the show. That was it. No one else asked him about it.
We'll be right back. 7360300 is the number to call this morning on Top Story. Want to talk a little bit about Certiset from Farmore of Idaho. I know you're not thinking about it, especially when it's like, 10 degrees outside. You're not thinking about irrigating the fields right now.
No.
But soon you will be, because in 2.5, 3 months, you're going to be thinking about that, and that's going to get here sooner than you think. So ask Farmore of Idaho about Certiset. It's a new type of pipe that goes out in your field. You never have to pull it out of the field. You just put attachments on your equipment, and it moves it and over the equipment and out the back. So you can water right up until harvest time, and then once it's harvested, we're talking about like hay, then you can put the water back on it the same day. So it's quite a deal. Talk to Farmore of Idaho about Certiset, 324-3341, or online at farmoreofidaho.com. We got a caller or two, it looks like, here. Top Story, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good day to both of you.
Hey,
that story about your senator even made it down under. And when I heard
Now, are you talking about Craig or Crapo?
Oh, no. Good old Mr. Whitestance there. But he's never explained. I thought, well, now, wait a minute, matey. You can't, if I just got out of the shower and I sat down on the old commode, I suppose I could have a white stance. I can't very well have a white stance from Minneapolis Airport unless I've got my bloody pants off. Either way, I thought, mate, you ought to just shut your trap because you're digging yourself in deeper.
I know. Hey, where have you been? We haven't heard from you in a while.
Well, I had to go back, and I'm a bit, I didn't want to fly on Malaysia Airlines.
I know. Wise
I had to
choice.
wait for a Qantas flight, love.
They've never wrecked.
Well, keep up the good work. Enjoy retirement, Kelly.
Thank you.
I'll miss you, but I'm sure I didn't catch your stand-in, your replacement, Mr. Colley.
Yeah, he'll be around.
He'll be here.
He'll do a good job.
All righty,
right.
mate.
Hey,
well,
thanks for
we
calling.
Always
We appreciate
you
it.
calling in. Thank you.
I always enjoy that accent.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I just love that.
So Larry Craig made the Aussie papers.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was everywhere.
I'm sure, and it continues to be everywhere.
Good old Idaho. 7360300. Top Story, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, good morning. First of all, I want to say thank you for all the years that you guys have been on the radio. I've really enjoyed your program.
Thank you.
One story that also made national news was the Sergeant Bergdahl story.
That's true.
Right.
Last we heard, it was some generals inspecting his case, and it seems like it kind of dropped off the face of the earth over the last several months. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, they did that while the investigation was going on. It's very controversial, so I'm sure they were trying to keep it as quiet as possible. And Bill will be dealing with this, I'm sure, when they come out with a final report and they decide what they're going to do with Bo Bergdahl.
Yeah.
So, that
was one of the top stories.
Yeah, that was one of the top stories. Maybe not as unique as the KKK snowman, but
no. The other one that was.
Stands.
Do we have another?
We do.
Okay, good.
Top story. You're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, Jill and Kelly.
Hello, Pat.
Pat, how are you?
Well, you tell you what, it's going to be a lonely place out there. I hope the new guy knows what he's going to be doing because it's awful hard to fill you guys' shoes.
Well, thanks,
thank you.
Pat,
He's a pretty big guy, so I don't think he'll have a problem with that.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, but you guys are a lot of fun. Anyway, I'm just going to mention my annual report. Encourage people, if they get bored of football, basketball, to take a drive over to 1500 East over there. Take the Buell Road across to go to Hagerman. out there by the West Point store, there's about 50 or 60 bald eagles roosting in all those trees.
Oh, no
nice.
kidding.
Okay.
I'll have to take my camera there and get some
Yeah,
shots.
you take your camera and your your binoculars, and you'll see a tree sometimes will have 50 birds in one tree.
Wow. Very cool.
Well, Pat,
And it's just a neat thing to see, and I know most of the valley doesn't realize that they migrate there. They're feeding probably on ducks and geese right now as they migrate through. But it's neat to see all of those bald eagles all sitting there majestically, looking like statues sitting in a tree.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
Thanks,
Well, thanks
Pat.
for that
and thanks
tip,
for
Pat.
always listening and calling in.
We appreciate you. Good, loyal listener.
Yeah. Hey, we're
All
down
right.
to like our last.
I know.
We got another call?
No, we don't. But just wanted to mention, we were going to talk just briefly about the John McGee DUI
another
situation.
Fall to grace
state senator.
from Gary's, yeah.
Went through a kind of a odd time.
I still want to know
And then
how he walked 6 miles barefoot on the freeway.
Yeah, I know.
don't get that
there
one.
was some funny stuff going on
The
there.
other one.
And then, of course, the Filer dog shooting. I mean,
That has to be the
what
top. I know it made Delaware news, didn't it, Bill? Where the policeman in Filer shot the dog outside of the little boy's birthday party
in their front yard.
in the front yard, and got away with it. No problem. Still on the force. Be careful. Do not let your dog out in Filer. That's all I'm saying.
That has opened up a whole new line of jokes.
That's how they handle it in Filer.
Bella, the dog that was sentenced to death after her owner died because the owner wanted to be buried with her, they decided to send the dog off to a sanctuary.
Thank you. Let Bella have a long, wonderful life.
So there you go. We're going to be back here with
Beth Swenson.
And we're going to talk about the
Twin Falls Public Library.
Very good, Jill. You're getting better. All right, we'll be right back. 7360300. We're back here on Top Story. We're going to talk about the Twin Falls Public Library. Let me see if I can do this again. Twin Falls Public Library Bookmobile.
Easy for you to say, big guy.
I know. Say it 5 times really fast.
Quick.
But I wanted to talk about first the folks at Canyon Pawn, because it's the newest pawn shop in town. Not only is it the newest, it is the cleanest. Mm-hmm. And I can just imagine Dave Hansen down there when it's kind of messy like this, when it's wet, people are walking in. He's probably there with a mop, mopping it up as they walk in. I don't know if he's that bad or not.
I don't know.
I do know this. They've got all kinds of guns. They got a big, huge gun rack down there, so they got guns for sale. They got some watches in the showcase there. They got some gold. They got some jewelry. They have rings. So guys, or even gals, if you're getting ready to pop that big question and you don't want to pay the multi-thousands of dollars for a diamond ring, go on down there because he's got some in the display case.
That's right.
And they are on Shoshone Street, right across from Will's Toyota, where Vickers Western Store used to be.
Or Body IQ. But anyway.
Yeah, whatever that was. But at any rate, everybody remembers that as the Vickers store. Right there on the corner, 3rd Avenue South.
I know.
You can't miss it.
Anyway.
Canyon Pawn. They got a sign out front.
They have a sign. If you miss that, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
But we have Beth Swenson here.
Hello.
Twin Falls Public Library. How you doing, Beth? We always like having you. I'm glad you're one of our last. Actually, you are our last guest.
Am I really?
Well, tomorrow's a special show, but you're our last guest, so thank you.
Yay, well, thank you.
You will be our last civilian guest.
Well, I'll take it. Does this mean I get a prize of some sort?
No.
No.
Okay.
You can take a picture. Well, you can take a picture with us afterwards.
Yeah, right.
I like it.
Okay, good. So what's going on at the library?
Oh, it's busy as always. First of all, the bookmobile. We
love the bookmobile.
Oh, me too. Which is good because I'm on it pretty much every day.
Without that, you wouldn't have a job, huh?
Well, I'm sure they'd find something else for me to do.
Well, that's good.
The Dewey Decimal System.
I can redo the whole thing.
Can you update it, please?
She's in one of those protective classes. Okay.
Oh, for gosh sake. I know, seriously. So anyway, is there a new schedule?
We had to adjust some things. We are starting to take Saturday mornings off, so we had to move our Saturday stops to other days, and we're doing that so when the farmers market is on again,
Saturday
we can
morning.
Dedicate more time to it and more events throughout the community. We want to be more visible, so we had to change things around. So that starts on January 5th when we do the new schedule. Most of it stays the same, but
no Saturday mornings.
No Saturday mornings starting.
So Beth, you can sleep in.
I wish. I still have to be there. And
Oh, it's not that easy. It never works out like that,
does it?
Yeah. Oh, well, no, you still got to be here. What are you talking about?
I know.
So where can they check the new schedule out?
You can do it online at our website, twinfallspubliclibrary.org. Stop in at the bookmobile and grab a new schedule, or in the main library itself. We'll have them scattered all about.
So during the Christmas break, do a lot of people use the bookmobile now?
I don't know.
Do parents say, please read? Where have you been?
Vacation.
Oh, yeah.
Not anywhere. I stayed home, but.
Oh, okay. I'm sure it's really busy, though.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes people wonder, I think, what do you have on the bookmobile? Because you probably can't have a lot of the stuff that you have at the library.
No, we're a lot smaller.
Yeah. See, for one.
But they got videos. You have all sorts of things. It's great.
We do. We have just a smattering of everything. Books on tape, things for kids, adults, something for everybody. And if you really want something, we're more than happy to bring it from the main library.
It's really a nice service.
Yeah.
But
how far out do you? It's just the city, right?
Yep, we're just in the city of Twin Falls. So we go as far as Northern Ridge Park, which is down near the canyon, near the hospital.
Okay,
it's kind of a little sub park there. And we also go down to the Washington Park apartments. I mean, we hit everything and in between. So we try to get as much as possible.
Is it out every day?
Most days, except for Wednesdays and Sundays.
Okay.
So, Beth, you got a few other things coming up at the library you want to talk about, right?
We do. We're really excited over this. We just got a new 3D printer, which are all the rage now. I know.
So you can print a book?
Wow.
No.
You can print a bookcase.
I know.
Yeah, to heck with a book. You print the bookcase.
So what can you print?
We've been doing a lot of experiments with it. We have we printed a dinosaur skull out of it, just like
a
little
you're
mini
kidding.
one. Yeah, it's really cool, and our computer tech has been going crazy over it. He loves it.
I'll bet he never goes home.
He really doesn't.
So why'd you guys decide to get one?
It's actually from the Idaho Commission for Libraries, our state library. They're doing this this initiative called Make It Spaces, where we're trying to encourage especially teens to come in and use their skills in making things, and it helps with their schooling and all this fun stuff. And so that was part of the money that we got, is we got this 3D printer as well, and we're starting to showcase it to the community. The big reveal day is not December, because that's ends like tomorrow. January 15th. We're gonna have it on hand, and eventually we're going to be starting to do prints with it, but that's down the road some. So,
that sounds really cool.
Where you can actually create your own print and come and print it out.
Wow.
Was there something else? Because we're just about out of time.
Oh, tons of stuff. Just check us out, twinfallspubliclibrary.org. We keep all of our events online, and
give a phone number too, Beth.
Oh, yes, 733-2964.
So if they want to use the printer, they will be able to after January 15th?
I'm not sure when we're going to start doing it, but that's when we're showcasing it.
Okay.
Beth, thank you. Thanks for being our last guest.
Thank
Always been fun.
And
Good luck with the baby.
Thank you.
Right. Beth Swenson from the Twin Falls Public Library, and it's time now for the Huckabee Report, brought to you by Waddell & Reed. And you can hear the Huckabee Report each weekday at this time, brought to you exclusively by Waddell & Reed. And it's, man, I lost my train of thought.
What happened?
I lost my train of thought. Waddell & Reed, and that's Laura Nelson, Josh Funk, and Steve Stanger are the financial advisors there.
And
the
poor,
number?
Yeah, what's the number?
736-6563.
Poor Laura. Laura Nelson was your financial person. You
Yeah,
can't
she
remember Laura. I still never met Laura. She had to be a saint to deal with you.
She was and she is.
She was and she is. And is so happy you're not her client anymore.
But, you know.
Best day of her life when you said, I am done, Laura. Take me out of this stuff. I still wanted to meet her, though. I don't know.
And you might get that chance.
Someday I will run across Laura Nelson.
Yes, you might.
And say, you have my sympathies.
Just to repeat, they are still looking for the police dog north of Pole Line Road in the Neander Point subdivision area. So they said they got within 30 yards of it, and then apparently it took off again. But
apparently everyone's out there looking, plus canine dog handlers. So
yes,
when I said, why not send out a canine dog handler?
They were already there, Jill.
I said, I think I feel so badly for the officer who just had surgery, because it's his dog, and he must just be freaking out knowing he's lost. Maybe he doesn't know.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I hope they find him. He's probably cold and lost and hungry.
I think they'll get him eventually. It might just take.
At least they know where he is still, right?
Yeah, that's
they could send up a drone.
Yeah, there you go. And they have one.
I know. I saw it.
So, I don't know. So they're still looking forward. So if you see it, call 911. Sure, they'd appreciate it.
I know.
Again, Bill Colley, the new guy. Now, he'll be taking over on not
Friday.
January 1st because that's a holiday. So, Glenn Beck will be setting in for Bill Colley on.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, he sets in for us every once in a while.
He
It's really
does.
nice. Really
it's very
nice
of him.
Yeah.
Beck would fit in really well here, though.
Absolutely, he would, and he's
Grew
been
up
here
in
before.
Washington, right?
Yeah. Well, his daughter went to maybe still does BYU, Idaho, so up near Rexburg. But yeah, I've got to meet him a time or two. So nice guy.
Did ya?
But at any rate, Bill will be here on the 2nd, and from thereafter, setting in for Jill and I.
We're done. You're permanently sitting in for us.
Yeah, tomorrow will be kind of a special show. I'm calling in some of
the heavyweights,
some older folks who have been here for many, many years, been in the business for many, many years, and we're going to have 2 hours of reminiscing. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not going to tell you who they are yet.
Okay, good.
That's a secret.
I know who they are. It'll be great.
Yes, you do. Yeah,
Always
it'll
fun.
be fun. So that'll be our last show.
So you can call in. You can say whatever you want to us. Say whatever you want to me that you've never called in before.
Right.
And now all of a sudden you're going to call in. Let it rip tomorrow. I'm ready.
I'll still have the 6-second delay going, so you can
ready.
say whatever you want.
That's right. Always fun.
So please tune in tomorrow for our final
last show.
And it'll be great to hear from you.
That's right.
So with that, sayonara. We'll see you tomorrow, and thanks for joining us today on Top Story. Goodbye,
Bye,
Jill.
Cal.
And goodbye,
Bye,
Bill.
Bill.